good chance we can avoid that for quite a while, yeah.
Well, good for you.
So,
Good for
we'll
you.
see in the next couple of days if it comes around. It's feeling slightly better this time.
And whitewater's a club sport.
Oh, good.
There's no scholarships.
Who is my friend?
And
Really?
they did to us what we usually do to other
Get
people.
rid of the inflammation, he says you'll probably straighten out and feel like you did before. That won't be bad.
No, well, for sure.
My last course was shots actually lasted like 3 years.
Really?
I was worried it was gonna be deteriorated enough that you wouldn't wanna go that route. That's the way it was hurt.
Really?
My goodness.
A little different.
He said the x-rays looked. Yeah.
Well, last meeting you looked
Yeah.
pretty sore.
I've been pretty sore.
What are you gonna do?
I'm getting so weary of it, it's been going on since November.
Yeah, but it was a good day. You know, they came in second. But it doesn't,
The whole day.
not ideal. So my face,
Tonight I feel pretty good.
It was a nice
Good.
weekend though.
yeah.
Okay, everybody needs to connect.
Who does?
The council members need to connect.
Okay.
You can log in. Whoa,
I'm in.
I feel like
I'm
I'm
in.
loud.
I'm in. I'm in. Okay, Cam, that
Much
idea.
over the weekend without the cane.
Okay.
Oh, you did?
Cane, yeah.
Well,
Tonight I could almost go without it again.
we have a group of guys and we used to play golf together, go to the Packer games together, go to some Brewers games. Last Wednesday we went to the Brewers game. One guy was on crutches, 2 guys have canes. I'm saying, we should get a fife and a drum.
Oh, now, yes, you can, oh, I'm present too.
Yeah.
Take this off.
Star after you said, I had the same thing.
You have to hit present, Jim.
Yeah, John has to have present. Okay.
Within a month of when I did in high school.
Uh-huh.
50th reunion, he was on Walker.
Really? Wow.
Okay.
Okay, we have a quorum. So, I'm calling the meeting to order now at
Jam-packed.
6:21 PM. Common Council meeting, that's April 23rd, 2019. Statement of public notice.
This meeting was noticed in accordance with the open meeting law.
Communications, I don't believe, oh, yes, I can hand this out. Committee appointments. That's my communication. 1, 2, 3. I'll give you one too, Jeff. I think there's an extra one. I kept it simple. These are just the appointments remaining for the ones that are not on the agenda instead of putting them all there, so. Actually, some of them are on the agenda, so I take it back. But I tried to keep it simple, so these are the committee appointments. Public comment, there's none. Consent agenda. So we need a motion in the system. And a second. And we have that. Any request to speak? Okay, please cast your vote.
Do you want me to read the items?
Oh, yeah, you should.
you gotta read it.
I'm sorry.
I don't know, but I got it, so. Approval of operator licenses. Resolution 31, establishing an ad hoc committee to review and report to council program services, ridership, grants, and other funding sources for seniors and ambulatory adults with disabilities taxi service. Resolution 32, appointment of aldermen to various boards and committees. Resolution 33, appointment of citizen members to various boards, committees, and commissions. Resolution 34, declaring certain weeds to be noxious. Resolution 35, appointment of weed commissioner for the city of Muskego. Resolution 36, declaring May 11th, 2019 as International Migratory Bird Day in Muskego. And Resolution 37, approval of agreement between Waterbug Ski Team Incorporated and City of Muskego for pier placement, water ski jump, and show events at Idle Isle.
Okay, any request to speak? Okay, please cast your vote.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, you gotta put that screen up. Consent agenda approved unanimously. New business, Resolution 38, 2019, disallowance of claim Pinnacle Peak Properties. We need a motion? Wait, she's not there yet, I don't think.
She's not, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I go too fast. Does it look like it?
Talk slower.
Oh, it says new business.
And it's,
It's up on the top here.
okay. Mine says disallowance of claim, okay.
Mine doesn't.
This says discussing new business.
It's not on everybody's, I get. Oh, there we go.
there we go.
Now I
There it
got a
is.
motion and a second. Okay, Jeff, did you want to?
Yeah, I think you want me to walk you through this one, maybe?
Oh, sure.
All right. This is a claim by Pinnacle Peak Properties. It's for reserve capacity assessment, and you probably all know that's an assessment, a one-time assessment to offset the cost of hooking up to MMSD. And so it's a formula that gets calculated, and it's based on our ordinance. If Scott were here, he could go through the formula. But basically, you take the number of beds, you multiply it times a percentage, then you multiply that by a number, and that's what your assessment is for that one. It's due November 1st of that year. You could also pay it on a payment plan. Pinnacle Peak was assessed, I think, $135,000. I'm trying, yeah,
Roughly.
135,975. They disagreed with that assessment. And so they filed an 893.80 claim. 893.80 is just a claim by Wisconsin statute that says if you wanted to sue a municipality, you have to provide them notice before you can sue them. So they have to put that notice in, which they did. They also filed a complaint with the Public Service Commission claiming that the rates that we charge are discriminatory and unreasonable. So they did kind of two things. They put in a claim with us and they filed with the PSC. The claim with us, what you tend to do is you investigate these and you try to disallow them. We have 4 months to do that. If you disallow them within that 120 days formally, then you cut the statute of limitations down. Normally the statute of limitations is a couple years, but if you disallow it, you cut it down to 6 months. So you're basically saying to somebody, I'm disallowing your claim, you only got 6 months to sue us. What happened is the Public Service Commission came out with an opinion, and their opinion basically said that the city's rates are reasonable. What we do is reasonable, and it's similar to what we do for similarly situated properties in Muskego. So that drastically hurts their claim to say that the PSC says that we're doing things reasonable. So even though that drastically hurts their claim, the Insurance Council and I still agree that we should formally deny the claim as opposed to do nothing. If we do nothing, it's a denial, but it keeps that statute of limitations going. So if we formally deny, then we're going to cut it down to the 6 months. So what I'm asking you to do today is to approve the resolution that says we can formally deny. And then whether or not they sue us, I don't know, but if they do, they've got to do it within 6 months.
Thank you. Any questions?
Neil, I think, had a...
Both of the senior centers that I know of that opened recently had the same situation where they were totally blown away by the charges that we had. Both of them were probably double what they figured they were going to be. And it comes in, I think, when when you have these senior care units where you have totally assisted people, they're counting beds as bedrooms, not as a bed. And that really almost doubles their capacity, because there's very often 2 or 3 people in a room in those intensive care units, heavier care units, not intensive care, but memory care units. So we have given, in both of these cases, we told people to expect $300,000, and they got a bill for $660,000 in the case of Heritage. And Pinnacle Peaks, I think, was about $75,000, and it ended up to be $115,000 or $200,000 or something like that. So we really have got to, maybe we're doing things right, but we sure are misleading the public when we're doing things. And I think it becomes about because of those memory care units and things where they have multiple rooms. So we really we've got to do something to address that, because we just can't keep charging people twice what they think they're going to get charged, because we give them one formula and then we use another one, we figure it ourselves, which is what happened in both of those cases anyhow.
Alderman Kubaki?
Do you know who provides that information to the prospective?
Well, remember when they came here and they talked to us?
But where did they, I'm just wondering where they got the preliminary information from
From the city.
the city.
When they go to the city, they have they give them a formula, and it's that we count things differently than what they see them as. They see they see a bedroom as a room. The city sees a bedroom as a bed.
It's actually all spelled out in the ordinance that's out there
And
for the
it's
public.
based on what you, meaning
It's listed in
the
there.
company, what they tell us they are. If they tell us they're going to be a nursing home, then there's one formula. If they tell us they're going to be a different facility, then there's a different thing. So we go off of what people are telling us. We can't help. What happens is then they change as the development is happening. They change a little bit, and they say, well, now we're not a nursing home. Now we're a community-based residential facility, and that can kind of change everything. So we can't always help what happens in the beginning. If they change what they want to do as that goes on, yes, that's going to change those numbers.
Because both of these places are very good, solid businesses, and they really got stung very badly by this, because of this, and word has gone out that it's not maybe the best place to do business because of that.
Well, and I'm
And
not.
I don't think it's because they're changing. I think it's because of the
We should put this on.
disagreement on how you count things.
Sure, you can.
Why don't we put this on for a cow discussion so we can bring all the information? That way everybody's going to be in the know.
Because there is some, we're kind of going all over the
And
place.
it's really not the agenda item, so we shouldn't
Yes, it
really.
is.
Well, not really. You're talking about another one that's not part of this. So in fairness, we should post that and bring all that information.
I think that way Scott can be here and we can lay this
Correct.
all out for everybody as to what happened. With Heritage it's being misleading as to what happened. So I think if we get the cow, we lay it all out for you. I think you'll understand it better. This is just either a denial of the claim. Can I deny the claim right now?
Okay.
Okay, please cast your vote. It's approved unanimously. Then we have unfinished business. Ordinance 1428, an ordinance to amend Chapter 294 of the Municipal Code of the City of Muskego regarding sexual offender residency and loitering restrictions within the City of Muskego. This is the second reading, so I need a motion. And a second. And we have that. Any requests to speak? And I know, Jeff, you've gone over it before, and they've all know, so.
I brought my
yeah.
file, but if nobody has anything to say, then that's fine.
Could you just give us a little thumbnail sketch of what we're doing now that we weren't doing previously?
Well, what mainly is changing is the distances that we were measuring on how far an offender can live. We were at 2,000, and there was a recent lawsuit, and at 2,000, we were only allowing residential space of about, I think it was about 15% or so. And there was a lawsuit filed against Pleasant Prairie, and Pleasant Prairie was only allowing 10% of their places where you could live, and of that 10%, most of it was agricultural. So the court came down and said, look, you pretty much have your whole city, your whole village you can't live in, and that's not constitutional. So what municipalities all started scrambling, saying, well, is there a percentage that would be fair? The court won't just come down with a percentage, which would be nice, but they won't, because every municipality is different based on your demographics and how your city is laid out. So everybody started scrambling, and the consensus seems to be that if you can get to about 25% of your living space to be allowable, that seems to be where the court is kind of falling. So that would be reasonable. So what we did is we moved ours from 2,000 to 1,250, the feet, and then that allows us, we're right at about 24.9.
And that distance is from like places where children gather and things like
Yeah,
that?
yes, it's all for, it can't be a penalty, this isn't a penalty, it's for protection of children, and where they congregate and where they play. So if you look at the ordinance, there's all kinds of things, there's parks, playgrounds, pools, schools, it's all laid out as to how far a person can or can't live from one of those types of facilities.
Including recreation trails, right?
Recreation trails, I got everything on there, I mean, golf courses, we've got pretty much everything I could think of on there.
Any other questions?
Mayor.
Nope. Alderman Engelhardt?
Just for clarification, again, I know we talked about it a little bit, the case of like the person coming back and wanting to live with parents and is there any exceptions have to be granted on this?
There are provisions built in here where if there's like a temporary residence and then a residence, and I believe, I'm just trying to find what we did with that. You know, I think that, now that I think that we went through this, I think we took all of that out. We just set up a temporary residence, and we said that a person could stay, it depends on if it's under 14 or over 14 days. Yeah, I'm just looking really fast. Here it is. The offender has established a residence prior to the effective date of the ordinance. So if they're already there prior to our ordinance, then they can stay.
Isn't that state statute too?
Yeah, if you're under a guardianship or if you're a minor, then basically you could stay if you're living with either the person who you're the guardianship or if you're living with your parents.
And that's not just our rules, though, that's state, am I
Right,
correct? That's
right.
not,
Yeah,
like, we
we-
chose them, they're mandated.
Or the use enumerated, so if all of a sudden it wasn't a playground and then it became a playground and the person is already there, they're grandfathered in. They can stay. Those are about the three biggies.
I guess.
Okay. Please cast your vote. Approved unanimously. And then we have review of committee reports. Want me to just do it?
Sure.
Okay, Finance Committee, March 26, 2019. Parks and Conservation Committee, November 8, 2018. Public Works and Safety Committee, March 11, 2019. License approval. You do that? I can't remember. Don't need to.
I'm so messed up here. We have approval of a temporary license to sell fermented malt beverages for the Metro Milwaukee Indian Motorcycle Rides Group on June 1st.
We have a motion and a second. Any requests to speak? Please cast your vote. It's approved unanimously. I'm going to bring the next one up right away, then you'll be ready.
You did.
Okay.
Is it up there? No. Oh, here, okay. Approval of temporary license to sell fermented malt beverages and wine for the Muskego Area Chamber of Commerce for Jammin' on Janesville, June 7th.
We have a motion and a second. Any requests to speak? Please cast your vote. It's approved unanimously. Voucher approval.
Motion to approve utility vouchers in the amount of $352,001.04.
And a second. Any requests to speak? Please cast your vote. Approved unanimously.
Motion to approve general fund vouchers in the amount of $738.99.
And a second, any request to speak? Please cast your vote. Approved unanimously.
Motion to approve wire transfers for debt service in the amount of $517,079.79.
And the second, any request to speak? Please cast your vote. Approved unanimously.
Motion to approve wire transfers for payroll invoice transmittals in the amount of $352,421.63.
Any request to speak? Please cast your vote. Approved unanimously. City official reports have none this evening. Communications and miscellaneous. Any aldermanic updates for the Senior Taxi Festival Committee, Historical Society, Lake District, Emerald Park, landfill?
Well, taxi, I'll speak for them. We had, we're averaging between about 20 and 25 rides a day right now. We have 4 cars out most days with either 5 or 6 drivers. Today I drove for 8 hours and had 120 miles, so.
Whoa.
So that was my day.
Anyone else?
The only thing I got is landfill is sold.
Landfill sold, yes.
Still sold,
Again.
again. Yes.
Really?
Yep.
Does it ever?
Anything else?
Waste management.
Okay.
Okay, future agenda items, reconsiderations. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Gotta use the machine. Okay.
And a second.
Can't do a so
Actually,
moved, yeah.
Please cast your vote.
I can't speak.
And we can touch it.
That's right. It's a touch
And
of
we are now
the-
adjourned.
Just touch.
That's right.
I'm not a recess guy.
On occasion.
Somehow I don't think that's part of your,
You take them. You can take them. No, you can take them.
No, I gave mine to John.
oh, come on.
Then these must have been mine.
Yeah,
I think,
take
yeah, I
what
think
want.
those, you were reading, I don't know, the judges, I guess, you were reading the judges.
You know what? I'm gonna be nice. I'll put this chair back down.
Or
Now he won't see that.